Welcome everybody to another Smart Solutions Showcase webinar from Smart Towns Wales. Today we have Negin joining us from Signify. Now before she gets started, if you do have any questions, the chat function doesn't seem to work properly, so if you just pop it in the Q&A, then she'll run through a slide, and then if I'll ask them at the end, or maybe we'll have a break in the middle. But yeah, okay, brilliant. Take it away.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Will. Good morning, everybody. My name is Negin Sabet. I'm part of Signify team. I work within the BrightSite venture or team. Today, I'll be presenting our solution, BrightSite Solution, which is connectivity through lighting infrastructure on the streets. A little bit of background about the company, Signify. We are the world leader in lighting. We are actually #1 in lighting within connected LED and conventional lighting. In 2021, we actually sold around 6.9 billion in terms of revenue. Our products are categorized in 3 different sections: light sources, luminaires within the streets or offices and buildings, and system and services. We are present in 74 countries. We currently have around 37,000 employees, and we are proud to be 100% carbon neutral, not only in our products and services, but also in our operations and the way that we manage and look after our employees and customers. So what I'm here to talk about today is around connectivity. It's quite evident that connectivity is one of the biggest challenges that we have in the current market. There is a high demand for low latency and secure connectivity throughout our councils, towns and cities, mainly for IoT solutions, but also to bring up the connectivity for the clients, customers and people around. There is a high demand, and the cost of this deployment is really high for councils and cities across the globe. And the solutions that we currently have is not sustainable. It not only disrupts the city's life by stopping, digging up the road to take fiber everywhere, but also it actually causes a huge CO2 emission in terms of sustainability targets. In terms of IoT, there are always a huge demand for connectivity solutions. There are a lot of applications and solutions out there. However, the core part of the connectivity is currently missing. And the solutions that we have is quite disconnected, in the sense that you might have a really good connected network in one area, but then other parts of the town or cities or villages they are disconnected. So then you can't fully utilize the IoT solution that you have in place. So within Signify, we have come up with the idea of BrightSite Solution, which is basically using the current lighting grid that is actually present in all the towns and cities and most areas. Then you can add any additional connected devices like your digital hub, or upgrading the current lamp post in creating the network that you need for connectivity. Within that network, then you can add your small cells, whether they are 4G or 5G, your cameras, your fixed wireless access, and creating that mesh connected network to be able to have connectivity across the dense populated area. This is the network architecture of the solution that we offer. Within the fiber layer, you will have, or the first layer, you will have your fiber connectivity that then connects to the initial point of contact. whether it's a broadband luminaire or you might want to actually use a kiosk. It's not mandatory, you could. And that takes the connection or connectivity to the wireless layer, which then is connected via the street lights or lamp posts. And on the access layer, then you can add your devices or applications, whether it's your parking sensor, whether it's your fixed wireless access for Wi-Fi connectivity for businesses or homes, or it's your security cameras or any IoT sensors that is applicable. Obviously, small cells would be able to connect to this network as well. So what are the benefits of the solution that we are talking about today? The most important one is the speed, is the time to market, because the lighting infrastructure and the street lights are already present in the street. So it's just a matter of simply swapping the current luminaire that is out there with the broadband luminaire. Our solution is also sustainable in terms of efficiency. You don't need to basically create a lot of disruption to the city life by digging and trenching fiber. The speed and low latency of the wireless network that we offer will give you that capability to be able to offer 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi offloading at various locations. And our solution is actually future-proof in the sense that within the next few years or so, if needed, you're able to actually upgrade the network and increase the speed if required. Our solution is also flexible in the sense that if you need to move and change the format and capacity of this network, then we are able to do that based on your demand and requirements. In terms of technical specification, we use 60 gigahertz millimeter wave spectrum. This gives you a point-to-point and point-to-multi-point connectivity. The radios cover 360 degrees, and in terms of speed, you can achieve up to around 2 gig connectivity. The format of our broadband luminaire, it has a broadband node which sits inside the lighting or the luminaire, which gives you that gigabit connectivity. And in terms of the lighting aspect, you will have the light management system, which also gives you energy optimization and light management, which can be remotely managed through our light management system. So where does our solution fit? Obviously, our solution fits anywhere that there are street lights or broadband or luminaires are already present. So whether it's a very busy city center area, or as a port or a campus university area or a business park, basically anywhere that the lighting infrastructure already exists, you'll be able to swap and change to broadband luminaires to achieve your connectivity as well as your lighting. In terms of our product portfolio, we have a few various models that we cover within Europe and US. This is not the whole range of portfolio. Obviously, we have other products as well, but this is the current most relevant to the UK market. The top two most popular are Pureform and Belgrade. And obviously, depending on the area, depending on the format of the streets and the lighting infrastructure that you have, we are able to run site surveys and match the requirements for the lighting. So Belgrade is one of our models that we have currently deployed in some areas in London, in central London. This is a traditional style that is already present in some of the streets. It offers multiple lumen packages in terms of lighting. In terms of connectivity, it offers all the benefits that I've discussed in previous slides, from 4G to 5G connectivity, camera, IoT, and Wi-Fi. Depending on the lighting packages and the lumen packages that are required in each area, we as Signify are able to look into that, the specification, and work with you to fulfill the requirement. Similarly, Pureform is a very popular form of streetlight in most areas, and it offers connectivity as well as required lumen output and LED packages as well. We have already deployed our solution globally, and today I would like to talk about a couple of examples, a few of these examples that we worked with closely with some of our partners. City of Tampere in Finland has decided to deploy our solution. The city has a very high requirement for connectivity due to dense populated area in the city center, around Central Station and Nokia Arena. So we've showcased our capability already since May. We've been working with some of our partners, likes of Etscom, Cellnex, and our technology, including private LTE and 5G, has already been demonstrated through some of the matches in the city. The next example is actually in the UK, in Westminster, where we've deployed our product, which is connected, bringing connectivity of 5G, 4G, CCTV, and Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi and fixed wireless access to the area. This deployment has been a great success in the sense of how it looks from a perspective of our client, Westminster City Council. The next example is in the US, in city of Mesa in Arizona, where the council had a requirement for connectivity for deprived area. This is council's idea of bringing connectivity to some of this residents within that area that didn't have access to broadband. So we deployed our solution in downtown Mesa, and within the broadband luminaires, we were able to offer public Wi-Fi connectivity and CCTV to the residents of the area. So we worked very closely with the city and with the stakeholders, basically putting the solution together for the council. That's all my slides for now. So I would like to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. The Q&A is in the corner if you could use that for any questions that you have. No, it's really interesting. I think some of the problems with maybe like a town Wi-Fi system that we've experienced is that sometimes you need like wayleaves and you need to use certain buildings, but this completely bypasses it and you can kind of place existing infrastructure. And I think it's a fairly quick answer. Any questions from anybody in the question and answer? Okay, so I'll ask the first question. So maybe in more of a town setting, you also spoke about cities. It would still kind of work the same, maybe with less street lights, or you don't need to be a certain size for this to work.
No, there's no requirement for a specific size. It can work anywhere in terms of where the street lights are. and you don't actually need to change the street lights. Every single street light is only within certain distance that you need to change. So it's up to around 100 to 150 meters. So usually every 1 to 3 luminaires that you need to swap around, basically. Yeah.
So Kiki, who works with me, has asked the same question. So Kiki, we obviously must think alike. But she's asked another question of how much does it cost? Now, I know that this will probably vary significantly, but I mean, is there any way you could answer that question?
In terms of the cost, I think obviously there's a set price for the street light as it is. So I don't generally tend to go into details in terms of costing, because it doesn't make sense if we do a comparison with the street light. But if anybody has any requirement, we're more than happy to have a look at it together, and we look at your specific requirement, we look at the area, we look at how many broadband luminaires is required for that area, and then we basically are more than happy to work with you to provide you with a quotation that will include a lot more than just the initial product. Is around the services that we offer as well around that. So perhaps best not to specifically go into price.
Yeah, get in touch if you want to know.
Absolutely, yes.
If there is an issue with the Wi-Fi provider, not a power cut, does that mean the streets go dark?
Not necessarily. Our solution is what we call has redundancy built in. What it means that at any point it has a connection to multiple point of presence with fiber. So if one point of presence or one fiber pop goes down, then there are multiple routes that the network will connect to the other point wirelessly. So yes, there are redundancies already built in within the network that will overcome that. Obviously, it doesn't mean that it's 100%, but yeah, okay. That's been taken into account. Yeah.
You had an example of in London. Where in London again?
It's in Westminster.
Yeah, well, I imagine that's a very, very dense area. So if you have like a significantly decent kind of like backhaul, whatever you'd like to call it, then the system will work no matter how many people log on. It doesn't really.
Absolutely, yes. So we work with the council, and we work, in this case, we have a neutral host company that we've been working with, that will look into the population, looking into how dense the area is, what is the requirement from local businesses, from the in terms of footfall in that area. So all of these will be taken into account when we're designing the network.
Dave has asked for the slides to be shared and contact details, but I'll make sure I do that.
Absolutely, yes.
With the recording. I hope everybody here is happy that I record it. You can't see your faces, anything. So, Aled, Nicholas, we use the Cisco Meraki system in some towns, which gathers data such as footfall, which is displayed on a dashboard. Does this solution have a similar functionality?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Can you gather any data from this product?
Okay. So our solution sees the data and the traffic, but doesn't actually look into the packages. What we usually say is it has the capability of you working with any third party or with any IoT solution provider out there. If you would like to gather that information, that is absolutely possible. We have network management system, which basically just sees the overall connectivity of the network, but wouldn't necessarily gather the detailed information within what's happening within the network. And apologies, I'm not the most technical person, but this is my high level understanding.
David with another question. How do you report the device to the energy company? Usually they have to ask for a code to report. So
I'm not quite sure what you mean by the device.
I take it uses electricity. So
Okay, I see. So the broadband luminaire is our product will replace the current street light. So from outside, there is no difference, and it looks exactly like in a street light. So in that sense, then we obviously work with council, and in terms of power consumption, there isn't a huge difference or delta. But all of those we discuss with the right stakeholder at the time when there is a change within the luminaire, basically.
okay, I imagine because your lights are probably more efficient by now, maybe that kind of
Absolutely
outweighs the luminaires.
Yes.
But I know that energy companies need an exact or an estimated figure or something, I think.
Yes, all of those details we're able to provide, and also because we offer light management system, we're also able to offer any energy saving if required based on your requirement as well.
Okay, brilliant. Any more questions from anybody else? I'll leave it for a minute. One question I had, and maybe you can't answer this, but like, how long would one of these luminaires typically last? Do they have like, do you reckon 20 years or because?
Yes, so obviously the lighting aspect is a product of Signify, and it's the life is very similar to any street light which is out there, or and any LED lights. In terms of radio, we generally say, depending on the requirement, the failure rate is very low, and if needed, we usually say within 10 to 15 years there might be a need for change of the radio, but obviously technology moves really fast, and the radio has the capability of being upgraded remotely, so wirelessly, so there's no immediate need of changing every couple of years or so, that I would say.
Okay, brilliant. I don't think we're going to have any more questions. So a short one today, but really informative. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, I'll share obviously the slides and the actual webinar and your details as well, if that's okay with you. And then
yes,
if
absolutely
wants to get in touch, like you, Dave, more than happy to do so and have further discussions. So thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thanks, Will.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.